I am really glad to see you. Somebody said, how are you coming along on the area visits? And actually, I've finished about half of them. But it is great to be home in Area 1. You are my peeps. I love you. We are not area number 1 for no reason, correct? Okay, so we are in area number 1. We were having a leadership meeting earlier tonight, and this is a unique area in District 7570. And I would tell you, in the traveling around that I've done in other districts, it is unique in the world to have Rotary clubs that collaborate and work together the way that we do. And I'll talk a little bit about some of that collaboration later tonight. But I'm really glad, as I said, to be here with friends. This is really, to me, it's almost like a family reunion. So I started doing these, and I forgot to have pictures. And Leslie Blevins said, you need evidence that you have been there. So I don't want to take a picture of myself, but all of you guys that have me, I'm friended on Facebook, and Hank is here. So please take pictures and try to get my good side, although I'm not sure if I have one. I have heard a few people talk about their Rotary journey, and to me it's one of the coolest things to hear about how people wind up in this chair and wind up in a club in Rotary. I came to Rotary pretty late in life, relatively. Most of you have probably been Rotarians longer than I have. But Rotary, my Rotary heart was being impressed upon me from a really young age. So I grew up, I was in West Virginia, really poor, but we didn't feel poor because we had our family farm. And out at the end of this red dirt road in West Virginia was a paradise to me. Now, we worked hard. We grew a great big garden. We put up hay. We raised chicken and pigs and cows. Even my grandfather was a beekeeper, which is a passion that I still have today in keeping bees. And every year, when things would begin to come in, my grandparents and my mom and dad, they taught me that to share what we had. Even though we didn't have much, we would give some to our neighbors and to people that we knew who had less than we did. And so from the age of 4 or 5 years old, Rotary was being laid down in my heart. As I grew older, I continued to serve in helping others. And when I was 22, a couple of people on bicycles and white shirts and long ties, many of you know me and you know where I'm going with this, but missionaries from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints came and knocked on my door and asked if I wanted to read this book. And I said I would love to read that book, and I did. And inside that book, I found this scripture, and it's been my favorite scripture ever since. And it says, I tell you these things that you might learn wisdom, that when you are in the service of your fellow being, you are only in the service of your God. And so when I walked into the Rotary Club of Warren County at the invitation of Dave Hardy and saw the Rotary motto of service above self, I knew I had found my earthly home. All of that Rotary that had been laid down in my heart, it just rang with clarity that this was the right organization for me to spend time. And so after that, I didn't say no to anything that I was asked to do. I volunteered for every position. I was a club secretary. I led a GSE team. I just never stopped saying no. I became president of the club. And look what happened to me. So you can either learn to say no or don't say no, but in Rotary, raising your hand and saying yes leads to wonderful things. And so even though I'm a new Rotarian, I have a Rotarian's heart and have had for a long, long time. Now in Rotary, we know we have the service above self motto, but about a year ago, we came up with a new corporate vision statement for Rotary. And it says, together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. And I just want to break that down a little bit. Take action. We're all familiar with the People of Action campaign, right? We love to get together at 7 a.m. or noon or an evening like this and have a good time and enjoy fellowship. but we take action in our communities and around the world. We are people of action. Lasting change. Lasting change is just a sustainable project. So when we go and drill a well and then teach people how to maintain that well, we are just doing sustainable projects. So that's what lasting change means. And then in ourselves, who here is not gained from Rotary? More than you ever give, right? That we say in Rotary, he gains the most who serves the best, and that is really true. We gain the most. We're doing things for people around the world, but we gain the most from it. Who knows who Bill Skelton was? About a third of the room. Now, Bill was from District 7570. What's interesting is if I ask that question in India or in Taiwan, like I did, about a third of the hands in the room will go up. And the reason why is because Bill was a transformational leader. Bill changed Rotary. He changed how Rotary International is structured. He changed how districts are structured. Before Bill Skelton, there was no Gary Crispin. There were no assistant governors. It made it incredibly difficult for someone to be the district governor in a large district. Bill changed that, probably because he was from a big geographical district. And he changed many, many things. And that's why when we say, who was Bill Skelton? And it's 35 years since he's been the president of Rotary International, a third of the hands in the room go up. Most people who never knew him, I didn't know him, but I know who he is. Barry Rassin and Esther are transformational leaders, just like Bill was. So we worked for a long time as I was preparing to be district governor. And when we set goals for Rotaract, I thought, we need more Rotaract clubs. Rotarackers can become Rotarians. It's a great way. So we're going to get 2 more Rotaract clubs in District 7570. And I was really proud for setting an aggressive goal. Then we're in training for district governors, and Barry's there, and Barry says, you know what we're going to do with Rotarackers? We're going to double the size of Rotaract. Whoa, double. He said, we're going to let Rotaract clubs charter Rotary clubs. A Rotary club won't have to charter a Rotary club. Rotaract can charter a Rotary club. And after the meeting, I actually went up to Barry and said, Barry, can we do that? And he said, I talked to the attorneys. The attorney said it doesn't say we can't, so we can't. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, that's how a transformational leader thinks. Barry's a transformational leader. Now, I'm going to talk about some important dates, but one of them I want you to put in your calendars on your phone right now, and that's December 7th. We're going to have the $1 Million Foundation Dinner, and Barry Rassin's going to be there. Barry is the president of Rotary International, and there is 535 Rotary districts. He's only president for 365 days. So you can do the math. But somehow I have convinced he and Esther to come and spend not just 1 day with us, but 3. He's going to be here for Ryla. He's going to be here for the foundation dinner. He's going to be here on Saturday for a multi-district summit. He's going to be there for the speech contest for the Ryla children. It is going to be awesome to have him here for that period of time. And at the foundation dinner, it's going to be our opportunity to spend time with Barry and Esther. And they are wonderful. Many people here already know them, and they can share with you just how gracious they are, but also the visionary people that they are. So that was just my introduction. How are we all doing? Everybody got enough to eat? Anybody need a break? We can take a pause here. So this is what we're going to talk about tonight. It's going to be in Blacksburg, the Inn at Virginia Tech. And if you are thinking about coming, register now, make a hotel reservation. I think the Inn is actually already full, but the Hyatt place right across the street still has rooms. Once the people found out that Barry's coming, they started filling things up. Plus we have Ryla there that same weekend. But, okay, so it's all on the same weekend. That's why we got it. Okay, membership. Yeah, so Membership, foundation, and public image, that's the three-legged stool that Rotary says we need to be working on. All three are equally important. But I got to tell you right now, membership is by far the most urgent, especially in North America. In North America, Rotary is in a gradual decline. This is the membership trend in District 7570. Now, you can only go get a chart that shows the last 5 years, but I'll tell you, when I joined Rotary 9 years ago, there were just over 4,000 members of District 7570, and today we have about 3,300. Now, once we can get this chart up, you will see that last year, through the work of District Governor Dick Ray and an incredible membership team, we actually grew the district by 38 members. That's the first time in 10 years that we have added members. We have lost members between 50 and 60 every year for 10 years in a row in our district. And we look to our west and to our east, where there's districts that have 1,200 and 2,000. And we pat ourselves on the back about how great we are, and we are great. But we are on the same steady decline. And 1 year of gaining members does not establish a trend. So in our district, we have got to turn the corner and establish a trend of growing. And when you think about what we do, it's crazy that Rotary is shrinking. We are the greatest service organization on earth, and we can't get people to join Rotary. I think we just don't ask enough people. I think there's a few things that we need to tweak, but more than anything else, we just need to invite like-minded people, people like me, people like you, who grew up learning to serve and help take care of others. Because when they hear our message, they want to join Rotary. The foundation, my foundation, our foundation. If you go to Charity Navigator, which is where almost anyone will go to rank a charity, to see whether they're worthy or not of their dollar, Charity Navigator is where you go. We have a #1 ranking for the Rotary Foundation. We've had a #1 ranking ever since Charity Navigator was the ranking entity. Before that, we were #1. And the reason why is we're so smart with how we handle foundation dollars. We take the money in, we use the interest off of it for 3 years to pay for the operations of Rotary. And then we send 100% back to do service in the world. Half of it comes back to our district, half of it goes in the World Fund to match our global grants. This year, because of generous Rotarians like you all, and the Area 1 clubs, we all give. We all give heavily to the foundation, but we can do better. But we got $245,000 back this year to do our service work in our district. Now, back in the 80s, we made a promise to the children of the world that we would eradicate polio. And we have to keep that promise. So we have 13 cases of polio this year. Out of those 13 cases, they all have taken place in 2 countries. It seems like we are spending a huge amount of money, but what we're really doing is building a network that's going to allow us to eradicate additional diseases. But once we get those final cases done, we will have cured, we will have eradicated only the second disease in human history from the earth. And in our district, we think that's so important that we give 20% of that district designated funds that comes back. DDF is just a fancy name for our money. We give 20%, and this year we gave a little bit more than that, $50,000 back from that district money to Polio Plus. But not only that, the Rotary Club of Winchester and Clark County and Warren County and Frederick County, and who did I miss? Front Royal. We give money back. We give a lot of money back throughout the district. And so we will give somewhere between $200,000 and $250,000 to Polio Plus from our district. That is going to help us possibly make this the last year. Just imagine that 2019 is the first year of 0 cases of polio. When you see people say this close, you can't get much closer than 13 in a year. When we started this, there were 1,000 a day. District grants. We have $90,000 that we have awarded grants, and oh, has Area 1 benefited from that. I talked about the collaboration. This year, we have a collaborative grant where we're buying a house so that women who need a place to stay will have one. But this isn't the first time we've collaborated. We collaborate year after year after year on projects in Area 1. That just isn't done even in District 7570. To get them to do a collaborative grant, we have to work with them and encourage them and help them, and they do one. And then the next year they don't do one. We're working on them here every year because we're family in Area 1. Now, global grants. I know there's some people who are really passionate about spending our money here in our communities because we have people who need help. We have people who desperately need help. Well, this year, we are doing 2 global grants in District 7570. So they're grants that we think of that we're always sending the money to India and to South America and to some other place outside of our own communities. But this year, 2 of those global grants are taking place here. One is the Give Me a Reason grant. It's led by the Rotary Club of Winchester, but again, all of our area clubs have collaborated on that grant, and we're going to have 3,000 drug testing kits for a parent that thinks that their child might be doing drugs. And if they're doing drugs, especially an opioid, we're going to get them into the best and most effective drug treatment program early and quickly. Because once someone's been addicted to opioids for 5 or 6 or 7 years, it is almost impossible to break the addiction. We have to interdict early, and this program is designed to do exactly that. And so it's $90,000 that's coming right here to Area 1 through a global grant. Money that's coming from India and Taiwan who see our need here and want to help us. We have another grant at the other end of the district. We're doing a mobile vision unit where we're taking a tractor trailer and putting an ophthalmologist office in it, and we have doctors down there that are going to volunteer to go around into communities that have no access to eye care. Forget insurance. They don't even have someone in town that they can get a pair of glasses from. And Rotary is serving them. And the same thing, the money is coming globally here to help us. So that's those 2 grants. Now, the third thing I want to talk about is the water jug grant. I know that there's one club here who did not get their water jug. Who was it? I'm going to call you out. I see 4 jugs. What club doesn't have a water jug?
We didn't bring it. We have it.
You have it.
We have it.
All right. So let me tell you a little bit about this grant. So this idea, I stole. I stole the idea. I'm guilty. Okay? But we wanted to let people have a chance to participate in a global grant. So at PETS, I gave every club president a water jug. Now, in Area 1, we've all participated in global grants. But believe it or not, there's about 35 clubs in our district that have never participated in a global grant. So I gave every president a jug. Not just a jug, I had $1. I put $1 in it and I said, if you'll just bring me back the $1 I gave you, your club will have now participated in a global grant in Ghana. So I'm kind of crazy. Some of you know that, probably more here than in other areas I go. So I went and talked to my wife, Lynette, and I said, Lynette, I want to really encourage these clubs to give to this project. So I want to give them $1,000 for the club that raises the most money through the water jug. And I want to give them $1,000 for the club that raises the most per capita for the water jug. And I want to give them $1,000 for the club that does the best job decorating their jug as judged by the assistant governors at district conference. Now, this $1,000 is not just $1,000 for your club. It is $1,000 to send a member of your club on this grant to go with Walter Hughes to Ghana and work. It'll pay for about 1/3 of the cost to go. Now, if your club wins and you don't have somebody who wants to go, we're going to give the $1,000. So Lynette was okay with that. She said, all right, George, I get it. We want to help. She said, all right, we have $3,000. So thank you, Lynette. And I said I'm crazy, right? I'm crazy. And so I was thinking about it right before I started my club visits, area visits. And I said, Lynette, I have another idea. She said, oh no. I said, I want to challenge every club when I visit, every area when I visit, that if they will put $100 in their jug while I'm there, Lynette and I will match the $100. And Lynette's a little crazy too, and she said yes. And so tonight, before you leave, if your club will commit to $100 to the Water Jug Project, let Gary Chrisman know, and Lynette and I will match your club for $100 tonight. Doesn't matter if you already have 100 in it. Doesn't matter if you're putting 100 in it next week. It's 100 tonight, okay? So the Ghana Water Jug. Public image. I said they're all equally important, and they are. So public image, we are really doing a great job. We have this awesome public image committee led by Leslie Blevins. They've come up with the swag shop so that you can go and get some Rotary bling that was designed just for us. So that when you wear it somewhere else, you can have a shirt that no one else has. Or you can have a pin or a hat or a work vest that nobody has because they were designed just for us. The Rotary Informer. I heard a terrible rumor today that Scott Arthur actually broke down and read one. If Scott Arthur who's the busiest guy I know, has time to read the Rotary Informer, you have time to read the Rotary Informer. Now we've changed it. She's made it look beautiful. It is a beautiful document. And it's incredibly informative. It will tell you everything you know about what's going on in the district that month and coming up. Okay, so when you get the email, and it came out today, every one of you in your inbox has a link to the Rotary Informer. Go and take a look at it. Just read it once, and if you don't agree with me that it's awesome, you only have to read it 9 more times. $100. Okay, that's awesome. Just save it. Warren County. Go Warren County. So now, here's the way it works. So you got to give that back to our club president because they got to put the water jug. I'm keeping a list, and Lynette and I will give a check, and everybody will give a check. This is just raising the money or the commitment, okay? We also, the swag shop is giving us money to boost our Facebook. And our Facebook is reaching thousands of people, and most of them aren't even Rotarians. And so we have people who have joined Rotary this year who saw a Facebook boost enabled by the swag shop and that are now a Rotarian. And district conference promotion. So I'm going to touch on that in just a minute. I'm getting close to done. So the $1 Million Foundation Dinner, December 7th. Don't miss that. RILA is that same weekend. District Conference is March 15th to the 17th. I want to tell you a little bit about that. We're going to have a great time. And PETS for the PEs here, and I saw several, is April 4th to the 6th. This year, the club leaders talked about that. There is an Interact conference. Okay, Aaron Harris is chairing Interact. Michael Williams is the co-chair of that event. So we need to get our Interact clubs on that list. We have room for 125. Let's get that information out to our Interact clubs. It's going to be at the Bill Skelton 4-H Center. You all might not know it, but Bill is passionate about 4-H as well. It's on Smith Mountain Lake, and it's going to be beautiful. It's a wonderful facility. District Conference. Who knows who this lady is right here? All right. This is Sylvia Whitlock. She is the first Rotarian president, female Rotarian president. Sylvia was the Rotarian that had joined the club in California that Rotary said, you have to kick her out of the club or we're going to yank your charter. And they said, Sylvia is too important, she's too integral to our club. And so you'll just have to take our charter, and Rotary did. Sylvia is wonderful. She's a keynote speaker. She is not bitter. She's delightful, humorous, and incredibly informative. She's going to be at our district conference. In my family, you guys might know that we like music. My kids are incredibly talented musically, but we just listen and love music, all types. And so one of our conference chairs, Rob Grimm, knows this band. Many of you probably do as well, Vinyl Tracks. They are going to be there Friday and Saturday night at the district conference playing tunes. But not only that, one night If you send in a demo tape and you're selected, you're going to get a sit-in with the band. About 12 to 15 people will get to sit in with the band at the district conference. So in the Rotary Club of Warren County, we like to say we're the fun club. I've been to all your clubs, you're all fun. But we are the fun club. So we're vinyl tracks, and you're going to love that. And then this guy in the middle, Evan Burrell. He is from Australia. He is an expert at engaging young professional Rotarians. He's also incredibly funny. And I want to take just a minute to show you a quick video. You all remember a few years ago when Dorito ran those little short ads during the Super Bowl? Well, Evan made one. So Evan is awesome. And he is that funny by accident. I've heard him speak a few times, but he also has amazing information that are going to help your clubs attract a new demographic of Rotarians, really. Almost there. So, power of Rotary and a Rotary journey. I don't know if you can see it, but behind these kids is a red dirt road. Why is it that I grew up with a red dirt road that led to paradise? That led to a life of plenty, of clean water, of the things that I needed. And these kids live on a red dirt road where their entire lives revolve around walking 4 to 7 hours every day to get water out of a drainage ditch that is full of waterborne illness and other things that I don't even want to talk about. In Rotary, we can change things for people. A little bit out of order. So I'm going to finish, and then I'm going to tell you about this. So the thing about my red dirt road is it put in my heart and in my head the passion, the desire, the need to change their lives. So I'm working on a grant in Uganda that's going to change their lives in about 30,000 people. And each of you are participating in some way doing the same type of thing. Rotary is the most effective, the most powerful service organization on earth. Being a Rotarian, if you don't remember anything else tonight, remember this. Being a Rotarian is a big deal. Because you are in Rotary, you are a better mother, a better father, a better sibling. You are better as a boss at work, and you're better as an employee at work. You are greater for your membership in Rotary than the person you would be if you weren't part of Rotary. We do great things. We are people of action. We change the lives of people in villages that we don't know how to get to, for people we will never meet. When people learn that about Rotary, we don't have a membership problem. When people learn that about Rotary, they are compelled. They can't help themselves but to want to become a Rotarian. And so tonight, you know, the theme this year is Be the Inspiration. And tonight, I want to thank you for being my inspiration.